What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So as y'all know, I have been going back in playing some old games and kind of testing some different ones out that I've never played, whether that's going to be Need for Speed Carbon, even played through Need for Speed Pro Street. There is going to be another series I did end up thinking about afterwards. I was going to be in a game store. I did end up seeing this game pop up. I'm like, you know what? Let me grab it. This is going to be the original Motorstorm. This is the first one that ever came out. I believe it was going to be 2007-ish, I believe is when this game did end up coming out. So yeah, it's going to be pretty old, man. What is that, almost 18 years old or something like that? So yeah, it is probably going to be up there in its age. But the insane part is on the PS3, though, it doesn't actually look that bad, though. When I was playing through it, I logged in, I was like, 2007, huh? Like, this game looks pretty dang good. Now, I am going to admit, back in the day, I did end up playing an old Motorstorm game. To be honest, I don't exactly know which one it was. I think it was going to be Apocalypse. I believe that was the one I did play a bit. I didn't beat it or anything. I did play it for maybe like 10 or 15 hours back then, but never really got too into the game that much. So I wanted to get the first Motorstorm game, play through this one a little bit and see how it is. And I gotta admit, guys, like, it is pretty dang entertaining. It is going to be a fun mix. Like, you're going to have the trophy truck, the big rig trucks, which I gotta admit, I feel like the big rig trucks are probably going to be my favorite. You can make fun of me if you want, but I like the way they handle and stuff. I would say their overall size and stuff is probably going to help with like the handling and all that, but they're going to be very stable. All the cars in the game are basically fast, so if you want to use like a motorcycle, a mud type of vehicle, a dune buggy or something, a big rig truck or something like that, you could pretty much run any of them and still do really well, at least when you figure out the routes. You can also run like an ATV, a dirt bike and stuff. Those are going to be really good for like the smaller routes. You're going to have jumps and all that. You're then going to see like the bigger routes where they're going to be kind of wide for the trucks or the trophy trucks and all that stuff. So it is probably going to be kind of selective. Now, some of the events I was doing, I was pretty much jumping in going, okay, let me go do the big area with a dirt bike. I was still doing great because they're fast or something, and you can easily compete with the bigger trucks. The only issue though is if you are going to be on a dirt bike or an ATV, you're probably going to get completely smashed by one of the big rig trucks or even like the dune buggies and stuff like that. But I did notice though, if you are going to be using those guys, be careful because the bigger trucks will definitely smash you if you're going to be on the lane with them or something like that, which is something I noticed. And the crashes in Motorstorm are so dang hilarious. I do remember that a bit from Apocalypse. But playing this game again, seeing like the crashes and all that really were making me laugh. If you pretty much wreck your vehicle or something, or you run into like a wall going full speed, or you hit like a rock or something, bro, you're gonna know about it because your car is legitimately going to disintegrate into pieces. Like, I'll show you guys some clips in the background and stuff like that. Like, my wheel was wobbling on my dune buggy after this car basically ran into a railing, completely exploded in front of me. My buggy was then going to be messed up. Funny part is, I did end up finishing the entire event with my buggy wheel like that. My vehicle was even smoky and stuff, which really didn't play that much of a role. I would say, you know, probably not running into something again might end up helping that, but watching some of the cars completely crash and get disintegrated is so dang hilarious. When I was looking something up on Motorstorm, I think I saw something along the lines of Hollywood type of crashes on it, and yeah, I could definitely see stuff like that in the game, bro. After seeing the cars wreck or something is so dang funny. If you're going to be riding a motorcycle or an ATV and stuff like that, I would recommend being careful because you obviously can crash a lot easier, but I feel like it's going to be a selective type of thing because depending on what event you're doing, you're going to have to use that specific vehicle. Then the other classes are probably going to be similar to you. Like, if you're doing a race based on bikes and the other one's probably going to be an ATV or something, you're then going to have the events where you can use any class of your liking. So you might end up seeing like a dirt bike, an ATV, a big rig, and pretty much every class in the game there. So yeah, it's probably going to be incredibly hectic. And one of the things I found so dang funny about this is these races were always so dang hectic every time, man. Like, you would pretty much be racing and you'd be like, all right, well, I'm going to be in first. You'd see like an ATV pass you, and then he'd end up hitting a rock and the whole thing would fly through the air, and then one of the dirt bike guys would come up to you and then he'd start kicking your truck or something, then another car would like run into it. It was so dang funny, and that was something I always remember back on the Apocalypse version, was it really was always going to be such a hectic game. I mean, you're going to be on a closed track type of course. There is going to be different routes, but you're going to have all kinds of different vehicles in the same exact event, which is, from what I do know, is probably going to be the only game that was like this, and we all do know Motorstorm would most likely make a lot of sense. So you'd end up seeing every single vehicle said to, you know, be together for that matter. You would normally not see a dirt bike, a rally car, and then like a trophy truck, a dune buggy, a big rig. and all kinds of weird vehicles put together the same event. And they're like, okay, guys, jump on in there and, good luck to everybody that's in there. If you're going to be driving a big rig, I would say for me at least was if I was to do an event that was going to be any vehicle for that matter, I'd always pick that. And that also came down for a few reasons that I did mention earlier. For one, if you are going against a lot of dirt bikes and ATVs, they are quick. And if you are going to be next to them, they're probably going to run into you and you can barely touch one, run them into the wall or something, or flip them over because you're obviously in a big rig. It's a semi truck or whatever, or like the tractor part of it going against a tiny dirt bike. So, yeah, who's going to win there, I wonder? Am I right? But if you are going to be racing that and then going against these smaller vehicles, that could help if you were struggling or something, which I would say Motorstorm isn't necessarily going to be a very hard game. It's more of going to be like a fun, hectic, you know what it pretty much is when you do end up jumping into it. Like when I loaded it up, I went, okay, this is exactly what I kind of remember from the Apocalypse version, but man, is this game so dang entertaining. I have mentioned this in a few videos, guys, but is that my imagination, or do y'all also probably prefer, like, the pure fun gameplay factor that these games did end up having? Now, I would say, again, some of this might end up coming down to, like, the nostalgic factor, but jumping in, being on my first time ever playing the first Motorstorm, I was having a great time with it. I would say the overall graphics and, like, I guess you could say map design was pretty great. I did like the mud and stuff like that would make some vehicles slide out where you could use like a mud type of vehicle and you can grip really well, or something like the entire big rig can grip good. Then you see like the trophy truck sliding, or the dune buggy would not be able to get any grip. The rally car would struggle in the sand and stuff like that. So the overall handling model in Motorstorm is also going to add on to how fun this game really is. Now, some of that can probably also be annoying for some people, but I gotta admit, you sometimes see some vehicles being twitchy, or maybe they're not going to be very stable. But overall, though, I feel like Motorstorm did a great job at it, especially with this game being almost 18 years old. Like, if you're going to use a dirt bike and then jump into like a rally car, they're going to be a bit different. You drive a big rig, then a mud type of vehicle. You can see where each vehicle is going to pretty much shine, or, struggle in certain areas and stuff. I would say for me, being like a motorcycle type of guy, I really like the ATVs and the dirt bikes a lot. They were so dang fun. You guys are also going to see some clips of me in the background on the dirt bike. I hit this huge jump, basically ran right into a rock and legitimately disintegrated. You spawn back in. All the other racers are right behind you. That was one thing I noticed, is sometimes I thought I was driving really good. I really thought I was completely obliterating the AI. Then I'd mess up around a corner, or, run into a wall or something and blow myself up. And then I'd spawn back in. And then boom, basically everybody is right next to you. So yeah, the game is going to have a difficulty to it when you do play through it. And it's not going to be like a legit walk in the park, like, oh, I'm beating the other racers by 25 or 30 seconds. I honestly do not see that happening, because they also seem to be very competitive, which is going to be the boost factor that you get. You are definitely going to want to take some type of advantage of that, which I was trying to save mine, or, not push my vehicle to blowing up, which you can also do, which is hilarious. But having boost on you for certain areas to where you can probably catch a lot of speed is probably the better way I found to do it, at least when I was playing through this game a bit. Now, funny part is, I'm thinking about trying to find the other Motorstorm games after playing this one. I think the other one was going to be Apocalypse, and I'd have to look up. I think there was 3 of them, which I would end up trying to get the other 2, playing through those again. I'll even make some videos on them. Playing through some of these old racing games, man, like, it really has hit so differently. I did mention the MCLA video. I am really thinking about doing some PS2 videos as well. I would say the screen on that's probably going to be a bit odd, guys. I know I could use like an emulator for it, but I really do like going back and playing the source of the game on the PS2 with the controller. Like, it's so fun seeing how the graphics looked and all that, seeing the way the games played. Like, it was so dang entertaining. And I feel like that was probably a good way to look at that. But playing Motorstorm made me kind of want to do that a bit more. Playing Need for Speed Carbon, going through some of these old games, I'm like, man, like, they were so good, man. No wonder why players like these so dang much. Let me know in the comments below, did you guys ever play Motorstorm? Did you really like them? What was your, like, some things you didn't like about them? I would say this series was going to be so dang dope. As far as I do know, there's not going to be any new ones in the recent years. And speaking of that, though, I did want to do a little bit of research, though, and actually look these up, guys. So there's going to be a total of 5 of them. You're going to have the original Motorstorm here. You're then going to have Motorstorm Pacific Rift. You're also then going to have Arctic Edge, which is actually going to be the one I did end up playing. I did not end up playing Apocalypse. That was in 2011. Then you're also going to have the final game, which came in 2012, basically around 13 years ago, is going to be Motorstorm RC. So I am going to be on search trying to find a lot of these other copies and stuff like that because I want to play through them, give them another shot, see how some of these games were, because each game basically like had different vehicles in each one, different tracks, different like, settings and stuff like that. So I am definitely going to be searching and trying to get other copies of this game. So do stay tuned for some videos on these in the future. I gotta admit though, with this being the original Motorstorm, guys, I feel like it's so dang nostalgic playing this, especially being a first time player jumping on this game, never really experiencing it. It is going to be such a fun and hectic racer. Would y'all like to see another Motorstorm game in the future? Would you like to see a new one? Again, it's been around 13 years since we've had one of these games come out. Would y'all like to see another one of these, or maybe the old ones even being remastered or something? Do let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But if you're looking to go back in time a bit, the first Motorstorm is honestly a good start.